This box is going to solve a big problem for me.
Stick around and we'll get right to it.
Hey, welcome back guys, Jason, KM4ACK. Many of you may have seen the video where I was talking about the OUPES Mega 3 power station and the way I plan to use it to power my RV. Now my house batteries will power the majority of things in there, but it won't power the AC and it won't power the microwave. So I can use that Mega 3 to power both of those. The trouble comes in with how do I recharge those if I'm going to be off-grid multiple days in a row. And that's where this OUPES Alternator Charger comes into play. The Alternator Charger will take the excess power that your alternator is making while you're driving and use that excess voltage to charge the power station. Not only will it charge, but it also has a reverse charge feature and a battery maintenance feature. The user interface is super simple. We've simply got this one button on the front that we click to do the different things. Then we've got a plug on this side and a plug on this side. One goes to your battery, the other goes to the power station, and it really is that simple. With a few changes and tweaks in the settings using the application, we can make this thing start charging when we fire up the vehicle and stop charging when we cut the vehicle off. Included in the box is the alternator charger, a cable that goes between it and the Mega 3, and then another cable that goes between the alternator charger and your car battery. Installation is super simple, although there is one little catch, and we can get a max of 800 watts out of this alternator charger.
Okay, just for a temporary setup, I do have it connected direct to the battery, which is the way you're supposed to wire this thing, but until I figure out exactly how it works, I'm not going to bother trying to put run all this large cable through the firewall and through the truck. We do have the 125 amp fuse though in place, and then the negative lead is connected right there. I've just ran the power cable along the ground, and we are right here in the back of the truck. I do have the directions out so I can kind of take notes and make sure what's what. And then let's go ahead and check that power level on there. And we're looking at like 59%. Now, you will notice that we have a green flashing light right here. So that indicates when we're in flashing mode that the charge mode is in standby. All right, now if we double tap this switch, it should turn it into charge mode. So we should hear the fan kick on in just a second. Let me hang on one second. And you should be able to hear that fan running right now. So that's with the microphone right against the fan, and you'll see that we've got a charge indication on this as well. Now, once I fire up the truck, you will hear the fan ramp up, and we will be able to get apparently more power out of it. Now, hopefully you guys will be able to hear the difference on that fan. That is with the truck running, and you can see that we're already up to 60% on that battery. So at 800 watts at a time, it shouldn't take very long at all to get this OUPES Mega 1 completely charged back up. All right, so I want you guys to check this out. We just crossed the 10-minute mark of charging, and we have 73% already in that battery. That is pretty cool. Okay, so now we've proved that it will charge from the car, but before we run my final test, which is absolutely critical for my use case, I want to show you guys quickly the app here. This gives you all of the information. What's coming from the battery is listed up top. You can see my current battery voltage is 12.4 volts, and I have no current coming from the battery at this point. The battery voltage on the Mega 1 itself is 53.1. We can also select all of our different charging modes, so charge, reverse charge, and battery maintenance down at the bottom. Now, something else, and this is what's critical, is I want to come up to the gear icon for the settings. And I want to change my starting voltage. I've actually already changed it, but this was a test that I want to verify works. You can set your starting voltage anywhere from 11 to 30 volts. Now, normal car batteries will rest at somewhere just over 12 volts when the car is not running. However, when it is running, it's going to jump up to over 14 volts. So what I want to test is, will this thing A, not work when the truck is off, and will it begin charging when the truck is on? So I'm going to go ahead and tell it to start work right there. That should tell it to charge from the car battery or from the truck battery to the Mega 1. So let's go ahead and click that. And perfect. We got an error code that the car battery is under voltage. Now, the reason I wanted to do this is I wanted to automate this starting and stopping process so that I know that this thing will only charge when the truck is running. So let's go ahead and fire up the truck and see if this thing comes to life and starts charging. And yes, we are charging right now at about 400 watts. I have seen this thing ramp up. It usually takes it a couple of minutes. It will ramp up to about just under 700 watts, maybe 650, 700, somewhere right in there with the car, or with the truck rather, at idle. Now, as it picks up speed going down the road, it is going to get up to that full 800 watts of output. Now, before I give you my parting thoughts, let's go ahead and shut the truck off and make sure that this alternator charger definitely goes off when that battery voltage drops again. And there we go. It ran for about maybe 15 seconds before the battery voltage went under 13 volts, and it threw the error code 101, which is exactly what I wanted it to do. So now I know I can mount this thing in the back of the truck, and it only fires up and charges the power station when the truck is actually running.
So what's my final thoughts on this? Well, it does exactly what it's advertised to do, although I do have two comments. First of all, you need to be aware of how thick the cable is that goes between the car battery and the alternator charger. You're possibly going to have a difficult time depending on exactly where you mount this. The other comment that I would have is they only include 5 meters of supply cable that goes between the car battery and the alternator charger. 5 meters is roughly 15 feet or so. My truck is 21 feet long, so I'm going to have to get a little bit creative, or I'm going to have to add some additional cable. If OUPES could put somewhere maybe between 20 and 25 feet of supply cable on it, I think it would be a lot better, because most of the people I see using this are probably going to be driving full-size trucks, or they're going to be driving something like a Class B camper van, or even a Class C, and it might even be a Class A. All of those are going to probably be longer and need more supply cable. Now, if you guys want to see a full install video, just leave it down in the comments below. I'll be happy to film that if there's interest, but I hope to have this thing installed in the truck before we leave on our trip to Orlando in February. If you found today's information helpful, be sure to give us a thumbs up before you head off. We will see you guys on the next one. Until then, 7-3.